everybody, welcome to this video. In this video we'll see how we can implement the ORM database programmings. As you know, it's ORM database. It stands for, or modeling, it stands for object relational mapping, object relational mappings, and it's a method to convert, or you can say link, the objects in your programmings to the tables in your database. So it's used to model the tables in your database as objects, and then we deal with objects in the programmings. So no more SQL statements, it's just all its objects and classes. So here we have also two as specifications that show us how we can do that, how we can do the ORMs, or how we can model our programmings using ORMs. We have JPA or JPA. JPA, it's specifications, which is stand for Java Persistence API. Is a specification that define how we can implement, or how we can persist the data in the Java applications. And Hibernate, its implementations. So there is many implementation to that idea for Java, but one of them is one of the most popular is the Hibernate. So guys, if you see here, so we are going to implement the Hibernate, which is the implementation of Java. Okay, is it clear? And the process, it's the object relational mappings, which is map the objects in your program to the tables in the database. If you see here in the picture, in the background, we have here some objects, right? And here it's we want to map these objects to the tables in the database. So let's now go to the Eclipse and implement that idea. So here is the Eclipse. So we will start developing a simple program just to see, maybe all in two classes only, just to see how we can implement the idea. And then later you have to reorganize the project and make everything separate. For example, the entities all together. I will show you also in the end one project, one complete project. We can consider it as a template. So to start a new project, first you have to create your database. We have our database here, demo, and here is the table, the table that we will use it, which is employee. Okay, so we will use that table. So we need to create entity for that table, which is the employee. So here we start the Maven project. So we start with Maven project, next, and then quick start project as usual. After that, it's already there, so we select another name and finish. So the project now is created. And successfully built. So where is our project? Is here. So let's just check either it's working or no. So it's working because we still don't do any things. So first, if we go to the dependencies here, we need to add two dependencies. So the first one should be MySQL, and the second one is the ORM. So here we have the MySQL. So let's copy and paste it here. Okay, done for the first one. So here's the Maven is already. So the second one, as I mentioned, it should be Okay, Hibernate worm, yes, this. So we have many. We can use actually this entity manager. I think I prefer this. Also, this is working. Also, let's use Hibernate entity manager. Let's use the latest one, or you can use the stable one, which is the final. All is working. Then we add the second dependency, which is and save. So now all the dependencies are added to our program. So let's now go to the coding. So as I mentioned, we have here the table, which is employee. We need to create an entity with the same name, with the same columns. Otherwise, we have to rename the entity in our tables or in our class. So we create the first one class. The class is employee, and here it's columns or elements. We have the first one is employee ID based on the same name, and then private string first name, and also we have private string last name. So this is the entity. Okay, we need to add some methods, which is gathering and scattering. Also, maybe we need to use toString. Finish. So now we need to add some notations here, annotations. So we need to add entity with capital. Also here is ID as primary key. So now we're done with this class. So next what? Next we need to call this class. So how we call this class? Actually, I have here a code, then it will help me. Then we don't need to rewrite everything. Just okay. Let me copy paste, and then I will show you. I will tell you what the okay. So here's the no need to add anything. So guys, you see now we create one object. The object name is imp, and we set the first name and the last name. No need to set the ID because it's based on the database. It's automatically based on the columns. So no, here is okay, similar to this. It's auto-generated. So no need to add here anything. Just we add the first name, the last name, and the other columns. So I just put 2 columns. So now after we create this object, what we need to do, we need to add this object or this entity to our tables. So here we need something, we call it's entity managers. We need to create entity manager, and this line to create the entity managers. So if we create the entity managers and then we add it, so there is something missing. How this entity, which is the employee, will be added to the database. How we can link now between the entity here and the database. So also, so that's why we have here something, we call it its persistence unit. So this persistence unit actually is the link between your entities, your program, and your database. So what the information is here in this file, the information in this file actually it's your database and your username and password. So where should be this file? This file actually have we have to add it. We have to add it in the source, in the main, only in the main. So we have to add this file. It's here, and this file actually it's XML file, and it's link your data to your program. So here we have to create project. First we have to create a folder exactly in this place. So new folder, and this folder name is, as I mentioned, should be inside. As I write it, you have to write the same. Should be inside resources exactly, and then capital meta info exactly should be like this. So this is the folder and it's resource folder. So the next, to create the file, the file as I mentioned should be XML file, and the name of this XML file is persistence .xml. So, and the name of this file is persistence xml, and then finish. So now we have this file. So what we have to do, or what we should write in this file, actually we have this file. Later I will share all this. I will share with you this project. So this file actually it's a lot of things, so we just copy paste, and but you have to know what you have to change here. Actually this is the name of this persistence unit. This is the first one. If you want to change the persistence unit, you can change it, but the most important thing is these properties, which is your the driver, and then your database name and IP, username, and password. So this is very important information. You have to add it. So I will add this file. So now guys, we back to the main program. Here, as I mentioned, now we have this file. So guys, as you see here, the main program here. Now after we create the entity manager, this is the object that will use it for manage or to persist your object, your entity to the database. So here we will use EM as entity manager, and then we will persist the object into this database. So first operation, now I think we done the configurations. So we need to add, for example, now one entity. The entity here, it's already, we have it, the object, which is M. It's information of one employee. So we want to add this information to the database. in JPA, which is persistence, we want to persist. We want to persist this information. We want to persist this record. We want to persist this entity to the database. So first we have to start transaction. We have to start transaction. So we use the entity manager dot get transaction begin. So we begin this transaction. After that, we persist this data or this entity. To stop here, no, we have to commit this. Means that now we have to save this transaction. We have to save this transaction. Should be here immediately after this line, but we can add all in one file, and we can commit all together. So this is the first operation, which is adding an employee. So let's just give a name, John. Victory. So we want to add this name. So let's see, run this code as project. So there is no error. So this, it's employee added. So this is 0 because here we print the employee. We don't print that data. So now we add it and then we just print it. So let's see either this John bit are added or no. So we go to our database and then to employee. After that we check, yes, it's added, it's 32. So this is the first operation. So how if I want to find some any employee, we want to, so let me comment this first. Okay, now if I want to add any so if I want to add, I want to find, if I want to find, just we have these two this sentence only, or this instruction. So just we use the entity manager to find the employee. So let's find employee number 12. So who's number 12? Number 12, actually I already deleted, so just maybe we can say number 5. So is number 5. So is number 5. Number 5 is Uncle Srog. So let's print it. Actually we don't need this now because it's just print, no instruction, no transaction. Here no transaction. So number 5, it's here. So how if I want to delete, so let's delete the one I added. So here delete, and then so let's delete number 32. 32 is John. So let's delete it. Okay, actually it has been deleted, but here maybe we have another transaction is okay. Let's check first, is it deleted or no? No, it's not. 32. Okay, we don't start. See, this is the mistake here. We have to start. I comment this. We have to start and end. So we start the transaction. So here to delete the file, to delete the record, we have to start transaction. After that, find it. After that, remove it. So let's run this code. Yes, it's done. Yes, number 32 is deleted. So the same thing is goes to update. So guys, update here is not exactly update. Remove is okay, but update it's merge. So here we have, for example, now so we have here, we search about number 12. So let's search about number 5. Okay, and then after we find it, we change the name, the first name as Nasser. Number 5, what? Uncle. Okay, so later after we finish, also we have to commit the transaction. So let's run it. Even we can as well print it here. Yes, before we find it, we find now the employee. Okay, before updating. So let's run now. What the idea here, we will find number 5 and then we print it. After that we change the name, the first name. After that we merge, means we update. After that we commit this transaction, and finally it's just print the update file. Oh, there is errors. Attempt to create delete event with null entity. So just comment this. So guys, here this error, actually you have to address this error. Why it's empty, why we cannot delete it. It's empty, right? So what we have to do, so if we cannot delete something is not exist, means that we have to add a conditions here. If it's exist, if it's not null, we can delete it. Just add and conditions. Okay, has been updated. So this is number 5 become Nasser. So this is number 5, it's Nasser. So guys, I think now we run all the operations, create, delete, update. So all of the operation is already done here. So if you see, I put it all in one file, but it's not this the good way to do that. You have to organize your project. I will show you here how to do that. Actually, we have here the example. Actually, okay, here for example, another project, this for student project. For student management, we create all the entity. Here we have the entity. If you have another entity, you can create it here. For example, student, the lectures, the timetable, any entity you need it, you create it here. So you come to another, for example, the surface. Here no need to use the, for example, remove, save. We can write another methods. You see here, add student. Even if they use we will use the same concept or the same methods that we use it in our project here, but we use add student, find student by ID, update student. So here, if you see, for example, update student, let's go to the update student. What's the update student? It's merge. So exactly what we use. How about find by ID? Find by ID. The same, is just find. And here is the main programs. The same. Now the user will use just something. It's, for example, add student. These methods. So retrieve the data, same, find by ID. So now when the user use these methods, actually it's more clear and natural, so than the methods that used by persistence. So it's advisable to combine all the same classes or same files, similar files, for example, all the entities in one package, and for example, all the surface in one package, and so on.